जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय कृष्ण रुक्मिणी जय सत्यभामा, कृष्ण रुक्मिणी जय सत्यभामा। जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम, कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम। जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय, गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय। जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह, प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद् डिवाइन ग्रेस ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शील प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन संस्थापक आचार्य जगत गुरु सेव द होल वर्ल्ड शील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 1, Text number 18. Niyached Vishayebhyo akshan, niyached vishayebhyo akshan, manasa buddhi sarathihi, manasa buddhi sarathihi, manaha karmabhihi akshiptam, manakarmabhir akshiptam, shubharte dharayed dhiya, shubharte dharayed dhiya, niyached vishebhyo akshan, manasa buddhi sarathihi, manakarmabhir akshiptam, shubharte dharayed dhiya, niyached vishayebhyo akshan, manasa buddhi sarathihi, manakarmabhir akshiptam, shubharte dharayed dhiya, niyached, withdraw, vishayebhyaha, from sense engagements, akshan, the senses, manasa, by dint of the mind, buddhihi, intelligence, sarathihi, driver, manaha, the mind, karmabhihi, by the fruitive work, akshiptam, being absorbed in, shubha arthe, for the sake of the Lord, dharayed, hold up, diya, in full consciousness. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Gradually, as the mind becomes progressively spiritualized, withdraw it from sense activities, and by intelligence the senses will be controlled. The mind, too absorbed in material activities, can be engaged in the service of the personality of Godhead and become fixed in full transcendental consciousness. Please repeat this translation. Gradually, as the mind becomes progressively spiritualized, withdraw it from sense activities, and by intelligence the senses will be controlled. The mind, too absorbed in material activities, can be engaged in the service of the personality of Godhead and become fixed in full transcendental consciousness. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The first process of spiritualizing the mind by mechanical chanting of the Pranava Omkara and by controlling of the breathing system is technically called the mystic or yoga process of pranayama, or fully controlling the breathing air. The ultimate state of this pranayama system is to be fixed in trance, technically called samadhi. But experience has proven that even the samadhi stage also fails to control the materially absorbed mind. For example, the great mystic Vishwamitra Muni, even in the stage of samadhi, became a victim of the senses and cohabited with Menaka. History has already recorded this. The mind, although ceasing to think of sensual activities at present, remembers past sensual activities from the subconscious status, and thus disturbs one from 100% engagement in self-realization. Therefore, Shukadev Goswami recommends the next step of assured policy, namely to fix one's mind in the service of the personality of Godhead. Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, also recommends this direct process in the Bhagavad-gita 6.47. Thus, the mind being spiritually cleansed, one should at once engage himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord by different devotional activities of hearing, chanting, etc. If performed under proper guidance, that is the surest path of progress even for the disturbed mind. Om Ajnanatimiraandasya Jnananjanashalakayat चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नियच्छेद विषेभ्यो अक्षान् मनसा बुद्धिसारथिः मनः कर्मभिर आक्षिप्तं शुभार्थे धारयेद्धिया। Gradually, as the mind becomes progressively spiritualized, withdraw it from sense activities, and by intelligence the senses will be controlled. The mind, too absorbed in material activities, can be engaged in the service of the personality of Godhead and become fixed in full transcendental consciousness. Srila Prabhupada's guru, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, used to give a very nice example. He used to say that among mangoes, the Alfonso mango is considered to be a very, very expensive and elite and valuable variety of mangoes. So naturally, it's very much valued. But if somebody takes a few pieces of Alfonso mangoes and goes door to door and knocking on people's door and distributing free of cost, that, my dear sir, I have brought some Alfonso mangoes for you, please take it. Like that, if somebody does, Prabhupada's guru used to say, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that nobody will believe him. Nobody will value that. They will think, how is it that something so valuable like Alfonso mangoes, this person is distributing just like that free of cost? So the value for that will not be there. So this example Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to give in parallel analogy, that similarly we in the Hare Krishna movement also, we are freely distributing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We are inducing people to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We are performing all kinds of activities, constructing temples, engaging, arranging for deity worship, everything for this singular purpose, that please take up the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra very seriously. But because the process appears to be very easy and very simple, many people do not value it. They think that it is some very easy, insignificant process. Rather, if somebody were to be told that you perform Ashtanga Yoga, we are going to charge a hefty amount of money, and 1 week course is there, please enroll for the course, then you pay this much amount, we will teach you yogasanas and different kinds of processes, then people will become very serious and very interested. No, something must be there. So the nature of people in general, that if something is very difficult and very complicated to perform, the value for that is very high. And if something is very simple and very easily done, generally people do not value it. So this verse also, this example of Alfonso mango is very much applicable. In the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad-gita also, this process of Ashtanga Yoga is described in detail, which is being described in this verse also. So Krishna, he explains the Ashtanga Yoga process, how it is to be done. Yes, in the 11th verse onwards, in the 6th chapter, Suchau deshe pratisthapya sthiram asanam atmanaha. One should find a clean place, Suchau deshe, secluded place. Pratisthapya sthiram asanam, find out a suitable seat, asana. Nati uchritam, nati nicham. One should not sit neither too high nor too low. Chailagnya Kushottaram, one should spread some kusha grass. Basically here Krishna is describing how this Ashtanga Yoga process is performed. Find out a secluded place and sit in a suitable place, find out an asana, and then please sprinkle some kusha grass. Then Tatrai Ekagram Manakritva, one should stare on the tip of the nose. The eyes should neither be fully closed nor should be fully open. If the eyes are fully open, then there is chance of distraction of different objects. And if the eyes are fully closed, then there is danger of one falling asleep. So neither the eyes should be fully closed, nor one should keep the eyes fully open. Manakritva yata chittendriya kritaha. Like this, one has to focus. So this is technically called Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga, there are 8 limbs. Yoga is a very popular word across the world. The International Yoga Day and all is organized. Generally, when we talk of yoga, people take it for granted that we are talking about asanas, different kinds of asanas, and pranayama. These 2 angas of yoga are very popular, asana and pranayama, because both asana and pranayama have given a lot of health benefits to the people. Medically, it is proven also, and many people have experienced a lot of relief from so many health problems. But this asana and pranayama, these 2 angas, are only 2 angas of Ashtanga Yoga process. Ashtanga literally means 8 angas are there. So 6 more angas are there in this Ashtanga Yoga process. Yama, Niyama, Asana, then Pratyahara, like that. And the final stage of this Ashtanga Yoga process, the purpose for which traditionally yogis used to go to the forest and perform this Ashtanga Yoga process was Samadhi, to attain Samadhi. And this Samadhi is nothing but completely focusing one's mind on the super soul or Paramatma in the heart. So if somebody takes up the Ashtanga Yoga process, first of all, in the modern society, in the modern civilization, it is not possible for anybody to take up this kind of rigorous Ashtanga Yoga process, because the first qualification is one has to leave home and go to the forest, secluded place, Suchaudesha. So there itself everybody is disqualified. So formerly, thousands of years ago, yogis, sometimes even kings and different personalities, desiring perfection, they used to go to the forest and try to perform this Ashtanga Yoga process. And the ultimate objective of this Ashtanga Yoga process is Samadhi, to fix one's mind completely on the super soul, Paramatma. So if somebody achieves Samadhi, first of all, to do this Ashtanga Yoga process itself is close to impossible. Secondly, even after going and performing this Ashtanga Yoga process, it used to take many thousands of years for yogis to progress in this path of Ashtanga Yoga and finally achieve Samadhi. It was not easy. Prabhupada mentions that even now there are many yogis living in the caves of the Himalayas, and some of them are even 600 years old, 400 years old. We can never make out. And these yogis, they don't come out. They don't mix with the general populace. Once in a while, when there is Kumbh Mela in Allahabad, when the Triveni Sangam is there, many of these yogis, they come out, they take bath in the confluence of the rivers, and then they go back. So such yogis exist even now. So anyway, this Ashtanga Yoga process is very difficult to perform. And Arjuna, after hearing this process of Ashtanga Yoga, he himself flatly refuses that it is not within my capacity to perform this Ashtanga Yoga. Chanchalam hi manakrishna pramathi balavadridam tasyaham nigraham manye vayoriva sudushkaram. Arjuna says, because this is after Krishna explains the entire Ashtanga Yoga process. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, then Samadhi. After explaining the whole process, then Arjuna's response is, Chanchalam hi manakrishna. My mind is very turbulent, Chanchalam. Pramathini balavadridam. This is very powerfully, it drags me away to different places. Tasyaham nigraham manye. To control this mind, Vayoriva sudushkaram. Vayu means air. So even it appears that it is more difficult than capturing the wind. Arjuna is saying, I can even capture the wind, but it appears that it is not possible for me to control my mind. So that is, therefore Arjuna says, I cannot perform this Ashtanga Yoga process. So very clear right from the Bhagavad-gita itself that this Ashtanga Yoga process is very, very, very difficult to perform. But let us say somebody has successfully performed this Ashtanga Yoga process and achieved the ultimate purpose of Ashtanga Yoga, which is Samadhi. Let us say somebody is successful also. Still, even after achieving Samadhi also, there is danger of going back to one's materialistic activities. That is what Prabhupada is mentioning in this purport. The ultimate state of this pranayama system, this Ashtanga Yoga process, is to be fixed in trance, technically called Samadhi. But experience has proven that even Samadhi stage also fails to control the materially absorbed mind. First of all, it is close to impossible to perform this Ashtanga Yoga process and achieve success. Arjuna himself has expressed his inability in the Bhagavad-gita. But even if somebody is successful, 1 in a million, still, even that is not sufficient to control the materially absorbed mind. And for that, Prabhupada is giving the example. For example, the great mystic Vishwamitra Muni, even in the stage of Samadhi, became a victim of the senses and cohabited with Menaka. So the story goes that Vishwamitra, he was originally a king, and then he once met Vasishtha. Vasishtha was a very powerful Brahmana, and Vishwamitra, along with his thousands of soldiers, some big number, 60,000 soldiers, they went to the forest to meet Vasishtha. And Vasishtha gave a very grand reception to all of them. He fed them with wonderful dishes and very good hospitality was given. So Vishwamitra wanted to know, what is the secret of this Vasishtha's opulence? How is it that he is living in the forest, and then forest you don't have any facilities, and how is it that he has made such wonderful facilities for all of us, 60,000 soldiers, he has given such a wonderful feast. So Vishwamitra was very curious to know. So he got to know that Vasishtha had a cow called Kamadhenu, a very special cow, mystic cow. And that Kamadhenu used to provide all kinds of facilities upon request. So Vishwamitra wanted to possess that Kamadhenu. You give this Kamadhenu to me, I will take it back to my kingdom. So Vasishtha said, no, I am not giving. Kamadhenu is not going anywhere. So there was a short quarrel, and then Vishwamitra tried to show his military power, and it is said that Vasishtha, simply by his vision, chanting a few mantras, all 60,000 soldiers were burnt to ashes. So Brahmana's power, qualified Brahmana, they are not talking of just some caste Brahmana. Such qualified Brahmanas existed in the past. So Vishwamitra was shocked. Oh my God, this is the power of a qualified Brahmana. So Vishwamitra decided, I should also become a Brahmana. I will perform severe tapasya. So with that desire in mind, Vishwamitra gave up all his kingdom and opulence and riches, and he started performing this tapasya in order to get Brahminical powers, Brahma Tejas. So whenever somebody does very severe tapasya, it is said that Indra becomes very disturbed. Indra becomes, is in full of anxiety. Just like in modern days we have, if one political party is making a lot of advancement, becoming very popular, so another political party becomes very much anxious and try to do something to check their progress. Similarly, when Vishwamitra was doing such rigorous tapasya, Indra was very concerned. So why this Vishwamitra is performing such severe tapasya? Maybe he wants my throne. Maybe that is his aim. So he called all his dancers in heavenly kingdom, Menaka. So Menaka, please go disturb this fellow's tapasya. He should not concentrate so much. So Menaka was sent by Indra, and Menaka, of course, with her charming beauty, she managed to break Menaka's, Vishwamitra's tapasya. So, and it is interesting, Prabhupada mentions here that this happened even when Vishwamitra had attained Samadhi. That's what Prabhupada says here. The great mystic Vishwamitra, even in the stage of Samadhi, became a victim of the senses. So that means even the Samadhi stage, first of all, Ashtanga Yoga nobody can perform in today's world. Today's society, there is no question of anybody performing Ashtanga Yoga, because the first qualification is one has to give up home and go to the forest. And not only that, 5,000 years ago when Krishna explained this Ashtanga Yoga process to Arjuna, Arjuna himself, after hearing, he said, it is too much for me. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna. That is Arjuna's word. That is, my mind is very, very chanchala. There is no question of me performing. Vayoreva sudushkaram. Even Vayu I can capture. My mind I cannot capture. So Arjuna himself, after hearing this process of Ashtanga Yoga, he flatly refused. Now, even if somebody is successful in the process of Ashtanga Yoga and achieves Samadhi, still, even after that also, even after being situated in the stage of Samadhi, one's mind can become disturbed. Now, what is the reason for that? Why? Why is it that even after achieving Samadhi, somebody's mind can become disturbed? That Srila Prabhupada explains in the next line. The mind, although ceasing to think of sensual activities at the present, remembers past sensual activities from the subconscious state and thus disturbs one from 100% engagement in self-realization. So this is the point. That means at the present moment, by performing this Ashtanga Yoga and achieving Samadhi, somebody's mind may become very calm. He may not be thinking of any material enjoyment at the present moment. But all the sensual experiences in millions and millions and lifetimes, they are all recorded in the subconscious mind. It is like a server or like a database. So unlimited practically amount of data is there within the subconscious mind. For many, many janmas, many, many lifetimes we would have taken. And in all those lifetimes, we would have engaged in some kind of sense enjoyment activities. So all those experiences are recorded and they are there within the subconscious mind. So just because somebody achieves Samadhi, at the present moment somebody's mind may be very calm, very clear. Mind may not be dragged towards any sensual objects. But one should always know, deep within the heart, within the subconscious mind, all the past experiences are as it is. So any moment those experiences can come back to the conscious mind. This is exactly what happened with Vishwamitra also. Vishwamitra had achieved Samadhi, his mind was perfectly clear, he was away from all worldly enjoyment. Shri Krishna, Rukmini, Satyabhama ki, Shri Krishna Balaram ki, Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. So, Vishwamitra Muni had achieved Samadhi, his mind was completely crystal clear, free from any disturbing sensual thoughts. But what about all the past experiences which are loaded within the subconscious mind? That had not been erased. So, same is the case with all of us also. So, the present moment our mind may be very calm, but deep within subconscious mind, what all experiences are there, what all past remembrances are there, any moment they can crop up. So therefore, this process of Ashtanga Yoga, even if somebody achieves perfection by attaining Samadhi, still it does not guarantee that in the future somebody may not remember his past sensual activities. Therefore, Prabhupada mentions here, therefore Shukadev Goswami recommends the next step of assured policy, namely to fix one's mind in the service of the personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. So therefore, the superior process is to fix the mind in the service of the Lord. And Krishna also recommends this direct process in the Bhagavad-gita 6.47. That is why in the 6th chapter, the last verse, Krishna, after explaining all this Ashtanga Yoga process, he concludes by saying, Yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo mataha. Of all yogis, he who abides in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. So in the chapter called Ashtanga Yoga, 6th chapter itself, Krishna concludes by saying devotional service to him is superior, and the yogi who is engaged in devotional service, worshipping him, his transcendental form in loving service, is most united, intimately united with Krishna, and he is the highest of all. So, therefore, it is very clearly established that the direct process of devotional service is superior, because devotional service to Krishna alone can cleanse all one's past sensual experiences from the subconscious mind. The Ashtanga Yoga process, somebody may perform and achieve samadhi, his conscious mind, his present mind may become clear of all different disturbing thoughts, but all disturbing thoughts are there deep within the subconscious mind. So this process of samadhi, even if one achieves samadhi, samadhi cannot ensure that the subconscious mind becomes free from all disturbing thoughts. Whereas devotional service to Krishna, as Krishna recommends, has got the power to destroy all one's subconscious disturbing thoughts. Thus, the mind being spiritually cleansed, one should at once engage himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord by different devotional activities of hearing, chanting, etc. So Prabhupada concludes the purport by saying that the process of hearing and chanting is very, very, very powerful. So this is a very important lesson, and also in general to educate the people, as Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's famous example goes, that if you take some Alfonso mangoes and go around distributing freely to everyone, nobody values it, thinking that what is this? How can somebody give Alfonso mangoes free of cost? Similarly, this process of chanting and hearing Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare is far superior process. But people in general do not value this process. They think performing yogasanas, performing pranayama, performing Ashtanga Yoga for the sake of spiritual development is superior. Of course, we do take help from pranayama and yogasanas for our health benefits, for keeping our body fit and strong. But process of self-realization must definitely be attributed to the process of Bhakti Yoga or devotional service. So this is the lesson we learn, and Prabhupada is giving the example of Vishwamitra Muni, who even after achieving samadhi, because subconscious mind was not cleansed of all disturbing thoughts. So all of us, we have got a conscious mind, we have got a subconscious mind. So conscious mind is what we are all aware of. Everybody is aware of his or her conscious mind. Now, this is my weakness, these are my strengths, these things disturb me, these things don't disturb me, these things I like, these things I don't like, this person I have friendly relationship, this person I'm not able to get along. These are all things which are there in our conscious mind. So all of us are aware of our conscious mind, but actually speaking, none of us are aware of our subconscious mind. Subconscious mind, none of us are aware. And the subconscious mind and the experiences in the subconscious mind, they are all locked up, and by the force of kala, time, once in a while, thoughts from the subconscious mind, they crop up to the conscious mind. It's like tip of an iceberg. An iceberg is there, only the tip is visible, but how big the iceberg is deep within the ocean, nobody knows. So therefore, transcendentalists, those who are very serious on the path of self-realization, it is said they never trust their mind. They never have full confidence in themselves, in their mind. Why? Because they all know that I do not know what sort of thoughts and experiences are there in the subconscious mind and when they may crop up any time. So therefore, the only surest way of cleansing our subconscious mind is to chant and hear Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, as explained in this purport by Srila Prabhupada, that even samadhi may not be sufficient for one to keep one's mind free from disturbing thoughts. But if somebody fixes his mind on the holy name of Krishna, then there is no doubt that no disturbing thought can ever create any unnecessary turmoil in one's mind. So that is how we learn from this verse. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Krishna Rukmini Satyabhama ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.